Hi. So now at the desk, it's quite a mess, but that's just how I roll. So what I'm going to do is it's just going to be a short video. Basically, this is the post-its that I have here are like constantly reminding me what I need to know. And then up here, I'll show you is leading up to psychosis. I'll get that after this, but first let's do this. So what I'm doing is, it's in highlighter, you can't see it, but it says monitor. So I'm gonna put the post-its in the orientation that they are now, so I don't lose, you get it. Then I'll place this in the bin. So I won't go over it in much detail, just everything I see that makes sense, because about 50% of the stuff doesn't make sense to me anymore. So I'm just gonna, it's this I'm okay with, This one's interesting. We all miss a few. We all gain a few. Satan. So Satan's the one we all miss a few. Right? Missed ya. We all gain a few. That could be Satan too, now that you think about it. It's both. Impulse. So that was the top. Whew. Looks real clean. Okay, let's get to this stuff. So I don't remember, I wrote this here. I've mentioned it a few times in my video and in my books. Reality is so obvious, it's imperceptible. Think about that. And this was from an earlier version of my ultimate, I don't know what to call it. God predicts every choice we make, so it's up to us to surrender to God and ask for forgiveness. We absolutely have choice, but the choice is to ask for forgiveness. So at the time, we have no free will. There's no such thing as choice, only the will to surrender. That's the only thing we have. I don't believe that anymore, but at the time, it appears that way. It absolutely appears that way to us, but the reality is that there is no choice. This is when, in my third book that's going to come out, the concept of my Jesus, not the Jesus, my Jesus. That's the muse. You love and surrender to your Jesus. Just like, oh, it's my truth. It's my life. My Jesus. And that can be anyone. That could be a celebrity, for example. muse really is the core of everything. I believe this in my heart. The muse. That's why I'm documenting the mythology of the muse. I want to expose the muse. So, part of the mythology is it's based on the Bible. Two things. One, that, I wrote them in the book, I believe. That's coming out later this year. So the one verse talks about how it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter heaven. That's the first part of it. And it's second is by the mustard seed. If you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? Something along those lines. So it says, for me, as part of the mythology is, can a mustard seed pass through the eye of a needle? So it's kind of like, is there a back door into heaven? Type of thing. Line up in a queue. Can't remember the rest of it. It's like, just can't remember it. But you'll recall this from my second book, I Don't Believe You. That's on the back cover. That's where. It's at this point I realized what my branding was, the logo, the elephant. It started off as the elephant, but as you'll see, it's evolved. So, the title, three things. The title of the book, Culture of One, my third book. The Muse, that only has one wing. I can get into at length why that is. I can remember. And then the halo, or a halo circular. But with the music, it turns into a spiral. So that's what I talk about in my second book, I Don't Believe You, where there's part A and part B. Just before you leave part A, it talks about the sheathed circle. The halo is sheathed. Once you unsheathe it, becomes a spiral, and it goes infinity, forever. And that's that rabbit hole, spiraling, 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 spiraling. Okay, let's take a look at these. Got a lot of notes. This is very important. Fruitless endeavor. These are ideas that I jot down. Ideas for this is not what I ultimately landed on for the jester. What I think it was another. I wanted to incorporate another picture of the jester, the muse's jester. You'll see in the artwork what it looks like. These are what notes look like. Very simple, just notes, right? Just I'm gonna run out of room. Handcuffed. That's what the muse's ear looks like. Trying. trying to do some, just testing stuff out, I guess. Oh, I remember this. I remember that. Don't bother trying to make sense of it. Okay, there's more. Man, I'm gonna run out of room. I don't know how much of these I should keep. Sometimes I'm high when I'm writing these things, so it makes sense at the time. I might just throw these out. Yeah, sports is human control tool, yeah. Tell me something I don't know. You shouldn't assume anything. Sphere. And this stuff, I think I can just throw out. Yeah, don't worry about this stuff. It's not. Just a lot of paranoid, they're kind of like revelations. It's nothing new, you know? Yeah, that's garbage. Okay, see? Get rid of stuff. I don't have a garbage yet, I just throw it on the floor. Okay. Oh shit, there's more. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. This was something that just above over my head. There's a lot of stuff. Oh shit. Okay, this is gonna be longer than I thought. Maybe I'm just gonna do the table and then the video will be the wall. Oh yeah. This was an idea for the artwork for the book. So it's a church, but instead of a cross, it's the needle. So it's still very much based on Christianity. It just perverts God's love, right? Oh, these are some funny stuff. Oh, this. So this is a person who has a rope tied around their neck, and they're leaning over a ledge. At the base, there's fire. So if they have to try not to choke themselves out. Otherwise, they'll fall just far enough into the pit where their feet and legs are burning, and they're too far forward to try and edge their way back onto the top of the cliff. So it's just an idea of torture. I'll go through these later. thought it'd be called a whale with human hands. Which I think I'm gonna hold on to that one. You know, they kind of already have like human hands, so it might. That's why I was like, they kind of like when you see the bone structure of a whale, it already looks like hands. So I was like, that's not really. But I thought, you know, like human hands. You know what? I'm gonna stop it there. You know what? I don't want to rush this. You know, and you know, I want to do something that's interesting and not be grading to you, waiting for something interesting to happen. So I'll just work on the rest myself. But you know, at least you got a taste of. This does not see my monitor with nothing on it. Okay, anyways, long enough video. See you in the next one.